Hi, my name is Yalitza Corsino Davis, and I'm a learning specialist here at L-Tri-C. In this video, I'm going to give you a few ideas on how to get organized to study from home. I'm going to talk about three areas to address when working from home. First, we're going to talk about your study space, then conversations with friends and family, and then finally, how to get organized in your academics. First, let's talk about organizing your space. I don't know about you, but sometimes I find it hard to work from home because there's many distractions. There are people talking on the phone or to each other, maybe the TV's on, and there might be younger siblings or kids playing. All of these can make it really difficult to focus on your schoolwork at home. First, try to find a space in your house that you can use as a study space. You want your study space to be somewhere where you can disconnect from the rest of the family. For many students, that might be their bedroom because it's their private space and they can control who comes in and out. When working in your bedroom, try to make sure that your back is facing away from your bed. You want to be comfortable, but not too comfortable that you lose focus. For students who share their bedroom, you might want to let family members know that you need to use the bedroom to study for part of the day. For those of you who share your room with younger siblings, you might want to ask your parents to help reinforce limited access while you study. Sometimes there's just no great place to study at home. Even in another room, the noise in other parts of the home travel and can be distracting. Or maybe your best working space is the kitchen table. In these situations, I recommend putting on some headphones and playing music, such as the ones in this slide. They can help drown out the noise and help you focus. I do not recommend playing music that has words or that you really like to listen to because it can take your focus away from your studies. You want music that can be in the background, but that will still allow you to focus on your schoolwork. The second area I want to address with you are friends and family and relatives. Now that you're working from home, your friends and family might think that you have more time and might be asking you to do more than when you were attending school in person. You might be getting frustrated because you need time to do your schoolwork. Instead of getting upset, you want to have conversations with your family about the kind of support that you need to do well in school. When I was in college, I was trying to do schoolwork from home, and I remember my mom interrupting my studies to help around the house. I think she thought that since I was home, I was free to help out. I used to get frustrated because the interruptions kept me from concentrating. After a while, what I realized was that I needed to explain to my mom what I needed as a college student. My mom was really proud of me and wanted me to succeed in school, but my mom didn't have the opportunity to go to college, so she didn't realize how time-consuming studying can be. I sat with her and explained how many hours I needed to study and how it would help if I was not interrupted during those times. Once she understood what I needed, she was able to support me better. You want to have those conversations with family members and engage them in supporting you. Let them know that you really need their support, and let them know that you need at least 5 to 6 hours a week for every 3-credit course that you're taking. This means that if you're a full-time student, you're probably going to need about 4 to 6 hours a day of studying. When I went back to school for a second degree, I was married with a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. I quickly realized that being a student when you have kids is really hard. So I created a study schedule that I thought would work for me and my family. I chose my study times around the times of day when my kids would be most tired. They could take a nap or watch a movie quietly while I studied. Or I would pick times when my husband or my mom were around to help with the kids. Then I sat with my husband and made sure the schedule worked for him. Once we all agreed on my schedule, I posted it on the refrigerator to remind everyone when I would be unavailable or I might need help with the kids. Even if you don't have kids, it's a good idea to post your study schedule in an area where everyone can see it. That way they know when you're studying and they know not to interrupt you during those times. Also, look at your circle of support and have conversations with them on how they can support you in your studies. To help you manage these conversations, the first thing you want to do is to create a set study schedule. A set study schedule will not only create a routine for you, but it will also let everyone know when you are unavailable and might need help with childcare. Then post that schedule somewhere where everyone can see it daily. A study schedule will also be helpful when sharing a family computer or a laptop. If you're sharing a computer with other family members, you want to make sure that you all work together to create a schedule that will help everyone. This will help minimize frustrations and arguments about who needs the computer when, and will let you know exactly when you will have access to the computer so you can do your schoolwork. I know that social media is a big part of our lives and helps keep us connected, which is really important, especially now when we're so physically isolated. However, when you're going to study, you want to maximize your learning. This is difficult to do when distracted by social media notifications. Let your friends know that you'll be unavailable for a few hours and silence your phone. When you take a break, you can check your updates and respond. I had a student once tell me that he put his phone in another room while he studied to make it harder for him to check his phone and to make him focus on what he was doing. I think that's a great idea. Sometimes these simple but hard steps will make studying go faster and will help you retain more information. The last area we're going to address is organizing your academics. Creating study routines is especially important now when we're homebound and have less structure. First, you want to take all of your assignments that are left for the semester in every class and put them in a monthly calendar. You can use a paper calendar or an electronic version like Google Calendar or iCal. I prefer Google Calendar because it gives me notifications. So every day I put in my assignments like an appointment and it comes up daily so I can keep track of what I'm doing. Putting all your assignments into your monthly calendar will allow you not only to see what's due this week, but to plan for those long-term assignments like research papers and projects. Seeing how much time you have for your bigger projects will allow you to break them down into smaller, more manageable pieces. I'm going to go back to the weekly calendar for a minute. By creating a set time to study for each course, you'll know exactly what you're going to do when you go to study. This saves time because you will already have planned what, when, and where, and all that will be left to do is actually just do your work. This calendar is of a student who is a science major. Science majors usually have to spend more time studying than other majors because they have labs that require extra work. This student created this study schedule when classes initially went virtual. Since then, she has rearranged her schedule to start studying later and work later at night. She finds it easier to study at night when her house is quieter. You want to build a schedule that works for you. So think about, what is a best time of day for you to study? Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? Or are you really most awake in the middle of the day? And then implement that and keep tweaking it until it works for you and becomes a habit. I want to touch on multitasking a little bit. Multitasking really doesn't work. Either you'll focus on one thing or another, but you won't do them both well. Sometimes students share that they can't stay focused for a long period of time. And in these situations, I recommend that students figure out how long they can stay focused for and then start there. So let's say a student can only focus for 20 minutes before losing their focus. I recommend the student set the alarm for those 20 minutes and study. And once the alarm sound goes off, take a 5-minute break. get a drink, check your phone, go to the restroom, and then come back and do another 20-minute cycle. Studies show that it is better to study for shorter periods of time more often than trying to push through hours of studying. So, repeated, shorter, focused studying is more effective than trying to do one long, drawn-out study session. Once you master studying for 20 minutes, then continue to increase your time by 5 minutes until you can concentrate for about 45 minutes to an hour. When you're studying, please make sure to take notes and review them. Most of the time, just reading your textbook or reviewing your professor's PowerPoint will not produce the best grades because they're passive activities and result in remembering less information. Note-taking will help you remember the information better and allow you to make connections between the ideas you are actively engaging in. So what you're doing is engaging your mind. When you're taking notes, you're engaging your mind and engaging your thought process and thinking deeply about what you're doing. So it'll help you better with memory retention and to be able to recall the information for test taking. Before you finish your study session, make sure to review your notes to ensure that what you wrote makes sense to you. Because once you close your notebook, you will shift your mind into something else and it'll be harder to recall that information later. Lastly, I recommend not waiting to reach out for help. Communicate with your professor or access tutoring at the first sign of struggle. Sometimes the more a student waits to get help, the harder it is for them to get back on track. So don't wait to reach out for help. We're here to help you. If you need help with academic support or access tutoring, you can reach out to my supervisor, Karen Ladley, or me. I wish you success and stay safe.